What is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. Today we have the Mega Venusaur team once again with Mega Venusaur, Landispherian, Celesteela, Tapu Fini, Darmanitan, and Raichu. If you haven't noticed about the audio, I actually got my new headset today. I took it for a little spin. I did some testing. And yeah, it's actually been really good. I think the audio quality is back to normal, so let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I feel like it's a lot smoother than the previous microphone that I used because I felt like that was a little bit choppy. Yeah, let's see if we can do this. I was focusing on the audio a lot in the last one. I was making sure the audio quality is working high because I needed to double check some settings. It seemed pretty good in the test recording that I did, so hopefully, and also I think the in-game music with the balance should be fine. I also should probably put on my earbud. I don't know why. If you're asking why I'm not wearing the new headset, it's actually right in front of me. The mic's right in front of me. I don't like wearing headphones because, I don't know, it's just, I don't like to squeeze in my head, I guess. I just don't. I much prefer earbuds. They're just like a lot more comfortable. It gives me more freedom, I guess. We got our first opponent from the United States, 1556 rating, with a team of Manectric, Ninetales, Comfey, Incineroar, Tapu Bulu, and Mudsdale. Very interesting team, and one I feel like Venusaur does pretty well in. As you can see, Venusaur hits 4 of my opponent's Pokemon super effectively, and there's not really much I can touch Mega Venusaur for a huge amount of damage, realistically. Maybe a Z-move if it's like a Tectonic Rage from the Mudsdale or a Z-move from the Incineroar, but otherwise, yeah, just not really much in the damage department against the Venusaur. I really like having, I think I actually really like Darmanitan. I think I want to bring Darmanitan. Although Celesteela I think is very useful in this matchup, I think I do want to bring Darmanitan. Because you know what? It's a Darmanitan. Why wouldn't I want to bring it? I'm going to bring Darmanitan. Raichu, Darmanitan, Venusaur. Of course, Aurora, I guess, could be annoying. I could bring Raichu, realistically, because I could Rain Dance. But I don't like facing the opposing Manectric. And also, Raichu doesn't really do anything damage-wise. It only supports with Fake Out and Rain Dance. Maybe Helping Hand, I guess. But I don't think it would be too important. I think Landorus is really good, and I think Fini in the back, just to help against the Incineroar. So we're going to go with these Pokemon and see how it does. And again, let me know in the comments down below if the audio quality does sound better. I did do some testing earlier, as I said before, and I think it sounds really good. So let's see how this is gonna go. I'm really happy I also have this because like editing with my old mic just sounded awful. It just like hurt my ears. Darmanitan Venusaur is going to lead here against the Ninetales Mudsdale. Okay, so I have a pretty comfortable lead here because of the fact that I can just U-turn out the Ninetales. Or I could U-turn out the Mudsdale. I want to break a Sash on Ninetales potentially, which is why I kind of want to go for the U-turn into the Ninetales. Yet, I could also Flare Blitz the Ninetales. But the problem is, does Ninetales protect and does Mudsdale just go for an attack right here? I don't feel like that's worth risking. And the stamina boost doesn't matter on the Mudsdale. So I think I'm just going to go for Giga Drain into Mudsdale and U-turn to Mudsdale. Now, something that could screw me over, this is like if Ninetales gets Swagger. I don't know if Ninetales will Alola get Swagger. It Swaggers to Mudsdale, its own tempo, and then I get completely screwed over. Let's find out here. We'll Mega Evolve the Venusaur. Gain those buffs, as well as the Fake Out ability because of the fact that Ninetales won't be able to hit me super effectively. It'll only do neutral damage. And I want to U-turn here specifically because I want to go into Fini. The main reason I want to go Fini is because I don't want to get frozen by a Blizzard potentially. So this is the main reason why. I hope this Ninetales doesn't have something like Sheer Code, because if it Sheer Codes me, I quit. I quit. I don't think I could beat the... No, I could beat the Tapu Bulu realistically, but that would be so bad for me. We will go Tapu Fini here, and let's see what my opponent does. Aurora Veil will go up, so I could have just U-turned into Ninetales, but as I said before, I didn't want the worst case possibility happening. I can deal with Aurora Veil since my opponent, I'm going to be getting super effective damage off no matter what, and yeah. Oh my, that didn't do as much as I thought. Assault Vest potentially? I think that's Assault Vest Mudsdale. I don't think there's a way it's not Assault Vest Mudsdale. We're going to see the high horsepower come out, target down the Fini slot. That's a really solid amount. I don't know if Freeze Dry would pick up the knockout afterward. Am I scared of Mudsdale? I mean, I kind of want to break the Ninetales' potential Focus Sash too. I feel like Fini's still useful in the back. I mean, Mudsdale really isn't going to be doing much to my team, realistically. And it's getting weakened by Hail every turn. I think I want to Sludge Bomb the Ninetales and break a potential Focus Sash. As we're going to see Mudsdale retreat too, which is great here. Okay, so I did target the right slot. Instead I was going to come out though, so I'm guessing this has to be a Freeze Dry into the Tapu Fini slot. I couldn't imagine anything else realistically. I really couldn't say that my opponent's not going for like a Freeze Dry into the Tapu Fini slot. Maybe, yeah, I think it has to be Freeze Dry. Yep, Freeze Dry going to come out into Tapu Fini, so I'm glad I did protect there. As we will go for the Sludge Bomb into the Ninetales slot. And good amount of damage, doesn't pick up a knockout because of the Aurora Veil. But that's Darmanitan range. Darmanitan is looking pretty solid in this matchup. Do I want to sack my Landers here? Because the two Pokemon I want to intimidate were Incineroar and Mudsdale. But Fini's still useful. Although I think I could just sack my Fini here. I don't see a reason not to sack my Fini. And I guess just lead seed my opponent's Incineroar if you Freeze Dry and go for a Z move, because I know that I'll be able to survive a Z move. We're gonna see the Blizzard come out, so no Freeze Dry. Maybe expecting my Fini to switch out, which I am completely happy about, as I will be able to get a Z move off into Incineroar, and it's not Assault Vest. It is under Aurora Veil though, so I would assume it would be able to survive the Hydro Vortex here, but if it can, that would be fantastic. We will be able to get a Hydro Vortex off, which is beautiful. And at this point, I'm thinking we put this Incineroar in potential range for my Rock Slide. Z-move gonna come out. By the way, if is the gameplay slow or is it just me? Because I feel like it's the gameplay, because I'm looking through my 3DS and it's going by pretty slowly in general, and it's not the actual video that's lagging. Lead Seed gonna come out into the Incineroar. Yeah, it's actually the 3DS. Flare Blitz gonna come out, which isn't gonna do much. Thick Fat, really solid ability on Venusaur, so I'll be able to eat that up. Ooh, I don't eat that up as well as I think. Ah, it's a crit, that's why. Unfortunate crit there, actually. That's a really bad crit. That's a really bad crit. Do I survive the hail? So I actually wouldn't have taken Z-move, but obviously I wouldn't have been KO'd like that. Not the worst, I guess. I still have answers to my opponent's team. And I've already gotten a huge amount of damage to every single Pokemon on my opponent's side. So as long as I don't miss attacks now, I should be good. I should be able to get knockouts here. I think I'm just going to Flare Blitz the Ninetales. I could Rock Slide here, but I don't think there's a point to Rock Sliding. Yeah, there's really not. So I'll just Flare Blitz the Ninetales and Muddy Water the Incineroar. The Mainatrix in the back. The Mainatrix in the back, I Flare Blitz the... Okay, so we're gonna see Incineroar retreat. I don't know who this is coming out. It's gonna be the Bulu. Okay. So Bulu isn't the last Pokemon. All I have to do is find a way to knock out the Bulu with my Darmanitan. Let's see if Ninetales protects or not. I would assume it just sacks off here. Yep. So we're gonna see the Ninetales stay in. So Ninetales is gonna go down, which is completely okay. And Muddy Water just for, I guess, a little bit of damage. I don't think this is going to do much through the Aurora Veil. Yeah, like that really didn't do much. Accuracy? Nope. Hail, grassy terrain is going to happen. Kind of sucks because I feel like if my Mega Venusaur didn't get crit, I would have healed a little bit from the, what's it called? I would have been in a great position actually with my Mega Venusaur, because the fact that is like Incineroar and Ninetales, if I connect a Rock Slide with Darmanitan, because I could easily just sack Fini, protect my Venusaur, sack my Tapu Fini, go out into Darmanitan, get a Rock Slide off, connect with Ninetales and Incineroar. It picks up the knockout because of the Sheer Force boost. And then Venusaur would be able to threaten the Bulu and the Mudsdale, which are the only things I could take like Rock Slides. Let's just protect Fini here. Go out into Landers. This is the last turn of Aurora Veil unless my opponent does have Light Clay. We'll find out. I think it's going to be Fake Out into Darmanitan. And maybe a Rock Slide here from the Bulu if it does have Rock Slide. I think Fini is still useful because of the fact that I can... Fini is very useful here. Fini is 100% useful because Muddy Water is a great way to hit the Mudsdale. So Fini Protect, Fake Out gonna go off into the Darmanitan slot, which makes sense. Yep, there's a Rock Slide, okay. I think Fini might have actually been able to survive the Rock Slide with the Intimidate. I don't know if it would survive Hail, but actually no, Hail's about to wear out, never mind. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna heal a bit, and now I'm in a pretty solid position here. It looks like my Fini's faster than the Bulu, which is good to confirm. I could go for Muddy Water here. It looks like the Aurora wore off from my opponent, so that's actually really good here. Incineroars don't usually carry Protect, so Muddy Water might be a fine play here. Or Moonblast. I think I like Moonblast more. Yeah, I like Moonblast more into the Incineroar. Or I could risk a Muddy Water and go on to Darmanitan. Dang, it's like, I kind of want to switch out Fini into, okay. There's a lot of things I could do. Like, I was thinking of, like, how can I get Darmanitan in a good position? Because I was thinking maybe my opponent sacks the Mudsdale here to get Incineroar in again. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. Because I thought maybe you can KO my Fini with your Tapu Bulu and then... Like, you KO Fini with Tapu Bulu and then get Incineroar in against Darmanitan. Maybe crit something. Like, there's always that chance of something going wrong. And, yeah, it was just like, if that happens, can I actually win the game from there? I am able to knock out the Incineroar, which is really good here. And we're going to see the Hornage come out, which is fine because that's not going to heal too much. And it doesn't matter because this Tapu Bulu is at the mercy of my Darmanitan anyway. Because Darmanitan's just going to clean up. I think it should be AV on the Mudsdale. If it's not, if it's actually a berry, that's actually really difficult for me. But by the way, the Giga Drain, like how much the Giga Drain did, I don't think Giga Drain should be doing like 25% to Aurora. I think it should be at least doing like a little bit over 30. So I really don't think that should be the case. Mudsdale gonna come out here. If it's buried, that's like the one bad concern. Like if it's buried, it's actually really big. Gonna knock off Flare Blitz. Actually might be able to knock out Mudsdale. It is Sheer Force boosted, but I can't exactly say for certain. We'll find out here. I do really think it is like an Assault Vest Mudsdale. Tapu Bulu gonna protect. Doesn't really matter. It really comes down to the Mudsdale anyway. I think my opponent maybe tried to think I get rid of Bulu, I can win the game. But really here it's just do I kill the Darmanitan because Bulu can't do much here. I'm actually able to knock out the Mudsdale with my Darmanitan. Darmanitan putting in a ton of work just for this end game, being able to KO that Mudsdale. Mudsdale's a really physically defensive Pokemon. It takes hits easily. That's the Sheer Force Flare Blitz for you, and that's going to be a good game to my opponent. There's something my opponent can do now. Darmanitan will just eat up this Bulu alive. This Bulu is burning. This Bulu is going to burn. Okay, so able to pick up a win, which is really good. I think overall, yes, I could have potentially U-turned out the Ninetales because that might have made my life easier. The crit made it, I guess, a bit more difficult. I mean, I feel like I still easily, like, it wasn't the biggest drawback, but, you know, it was a drawback because I think Venusaur could have won the game, as I said before. Since I weakened all my opponent's Pokemon, and since Venusaur was just a really good Pokemon in that situation of the game because Venusaur threatened everything that Darmanitan basically couldn't KO. Specifically the Mudsdale, and if I look myself on the Rock Slide, I don't knock out the Tapu Bulu. Venusaur would probably be able to outspeed both Pokemon and just be able to pick up knockouts. So, yeah, I could have just won with Venusaur, but luckily Darmanitan was able to clean up in the end game. And, yeah, I think one of the turns I want to explain more in detail was it's just that turn where I decided I'm going to U-turn and Muddy Water. I just really thought if, you sack Mudsdale right there, you could get an Incineroar. As I said, you can knock out the Fini. I just don't know what's going to happen there at that case. I feel like I have to stay with Fini because I'm not sure if Rock Slide will knock out the Incineroar at that range because I'm not sure. I think it really depends on the Incineroar spread. But if I miss or don't knock out the Incineroar, I'm actually in a pretty bad spot because, like, I switch in Darmanitan, it takes a lot of damage. Or I could be risking my Landorus there if my opponent doubles up the Landorus slot for that turn. It was like a few mind games. I feel like overall I want to figure out, okay, what's the best shot of me actually being able to win the game. And I think if you sack the Mudsdale there at that point, like, yes, I get Intimidate with my Darmanitan, but at least I'm able to trade and Intimidate back into the Tapu Bulu and the Incineroar, so they can't knock my Darmanitan out, which is really good there. And then I'd be able to threaten the Flare Blitz and at least get a bit of damage off into the Incineroar with Rock Slide. Maybe I'd get 2 because of the fact you would have to probably fake out the Darmanitan that turn and Rock Slide. Well, fake out, yeah, you have to Rock Slide with the Bulu. And I'd have Landorus and Darmanitan. I just Rock Slide. Flare Blitz, you fake out the Darmanitan and Rock Slide, and then the same thing happens there again. So that's the main reason I decided to make the plays that I made. But looks like it's taking quite a while to find our second game, so we'll be right back with the second game of today's episode. Alright, we got an opponent from Japan, 1787 rating. What is it going to be? A team of Salamence, Bisharp, Volcarona, Gastrodon, Tapu Koko, and Cresselia. This is a weird game because Venusaur's good against 3 of these Pokemon and bad against the other 3. So, how am I going to handle this? I think I could go... Darmanitan doesn't look bad as a lead, realistically. I mean, Flare Blitz does a ton of work. I'm not sure if you're going to bring Gastrodon. I don't think you bring Gastrodon against me. You bring Volcarona. I definitely think you bring Volcarona. You might not bring Volcarona. You definitely bring Salamence here, though. 100% you bring Salamence. Intimidate, Flying type. Did we face this opponent before? I feel like we have. I feel like we have, but I can't really confirm. I could leave Raichu plus Feeny. Man, this is where a Calm Mind Feeny would be great, but I do run the Z move on this team. I do really want to go Raichu Feeny, though. I think it just fits so well. Because my opponent really can't do much otherwise. I think Celesteela is also pretty good if I'm able to get in a good position. Darmanitan's a bit weird too. I'm gonna go Raichu, Feeny. I think I bring Landorus. And I think I bring Celesteela. Because realistically, Celesteela can beat the Gastrodon, and I don't really need too many Tapu Koko answers, I feel like, since I did bring the Landorus as well as the Raichu. So I think Venusaur is actually the weakest out of the Pokemon choices that I can have, and I don't know if you're going to bring Gastrodon. I really don't think you are. I don't think Gastrodon does too well. I think you bring Koko, Volcarona, Salamence, Bisharp, or maybe even bring Cresselia, but I don't think you bring Gastrodon. I don't see room for it. Tapu Koko Salamence is going to lead, which is okay here, as I will lead my Raichu and Tapu Fini. So, I will easily go for a Moonblast in the Salamence, and I think just fake out the Tapu Koko because it's very likely that there might be a Protect coming out from one of these Pokemon. And maybe just attack with both, but if I remember this person, and we did play before, because I recognize the team, it was like a Frail Salamence. Like, I remember it being a Frail Salamence, so fake out and Moonblast. Because if Salamence wants to go for a Double Edge and a Feeny, it'll knock its... I mean, Moonblast will be doing a lot. We're going to see Salamence Protect, yeah. This is the reason why I faked out the Koko, even though it doesn't threaten me, because I feel like it's worth it. If I had Calm Mind, I'd love to go for Calm Mind here. Unfortunately, I don't. So, Tapu Koko going to flinch. We go for the Moonblast and the Salamence. Unfortunately, a Max Speed Salamence does outspeed my Raichu. And you could easily go for Gleam Double Edge, and that's going to do a lot to my Feeny. So, I think the best play for me is just to swap out into my Landers and fire off a Moonblast into the Salamence. Because if I can get rid of Salamence, that's really good for my team. Incidentally, if I Hydro Vortex the Tapu Koko, I think that's really good for me as well. But I don't want to give Volcarona a free switch because when I'm not threatening it. Because if I'm not threatening Volcarona, I feel pretty bad about my position because of the fact that Celesteela, because it gets a free Quiver Dance and then can Heat Wave, and all you have to do is break Raichu's Focus Session or knock it out. And yeah, I don't really like that. So we're gonna see Salamence retreat here into the Volcarona actually. So there's that Volcarona that's coming out, which is fine. We're gonna see a Gleam, which isn't gonna do too much to my team. Moonblast's gonna go out into the Volcarona slot. It's an interesting game now because of the fact that I do have a Raichu as a switch in. My opponent knows I have a Raichu as a switch in. Are you going to Thunderbolt or go for a Z move right here? That's really risky too. I have a Landorus out. I don't think you do. I feel like you might double up my Landorus if you have Z move. I can see Koko switching out here into Salamence and Volcarona protecting. I think I'm just going to attack the Koko with Rock Slide and Moonblast. I think it's worth here. We are going to see the Koko switch out. Is that Salamence? Ah, Cresselia. Okay. Does that mean Volcarona's protecting at least? Because I don't think you want to take a Rock Slide. Yep. We're going to see at least a Volcarona protect, so at least that's something good for me. I don't know what kind of Cresselia this is, though. If it is Calm Mind, that's going to be really frustrating for my team to handle. Like, that is going to be really frustrating for my team to handle. As Moonblast is going to come out into the Cresselia. Decent damage. I could easily go for a U-turn in a Cresselia, and I think just Hydro Vortex the Volcarona. I don't think Z-Move will knock out my Feeny or my Salamence at this range with the Firium, so I'll go for the Z-Move here. We're gonna see Volcarona actually just stay in, go for the Quiver Dance. Pretty sure. Okay, I think it's like my opponent's like, I'm willing to trade Volcarona for Landers because Landers is going to be threatened by an Ice move from the Cresselia. If you don't want Landers going down, you have to switch, which means Volcarona gets a Quiver Dance, but I do have the Z move for a reason. I'll bring in Raichu here. I would love to bring in the Celesteela realistically, but I don't want to waste my Electric Seed just yet. Not Electric Seed, Misty Seed just yet. Icy Wind going to come out. Oh, it wasn't even, okay. That's fine, I guess. That's fine, I guess. I should be able to knock out Volcarona. I don't think it survives Hydro Vortex at the range it's at. It's like at 80%. Hydro Vortex should be able to knock out. And yeah, this looks pretty good. I mean, I did waste my Z move, but I mean, I got rid of Volcarona, which is probably the biggest threat to my... It's the biggest threat to my Celesteela in the back, for sure. So we're gonna knock out the Volcarona, that's great. And what are we gonna see from my opponent? I think we're gonna see the Coco come back in. I don't think Salamence has a reason to come back in. I do have Haze, so I guess that's a good thing against, like, if it is Calm Mind Cresselia and us, so I could reset my speed. We're gonna see the Coco come in. We're probably gonna see what Gleam, Icy Winds. It is Electric Seed on the Cresselia. I wonder if Electric Terrain Boosted Thunderbolt can knock out the Cresselia, because I'm actually really curious. Because if it can, I go for Thunderbolt right here, I feel like. I think I Thunderbolt, and maybe I just fire off a Muddy Water. Or do I Moonblast? I think I Moonblast. I think I double up the Cresselia slot. Because Coco can't do anything unless it has Discharge. But no, it's just going to fire for Gleam, which is fine. Unless this is really fast Crest. Like, it has to be really fast. It goes for Moonlight, so it does have speed. Okay. Oh, I wish I went for Muddy Water then, because I'm probably not knocking out the Crest. So it is probably Calm Mind. That's actually really annoying. I do a lot of damage with that Thunderbolt, but I'm not going to be able to pick up the knockout. Moonblast into Cresselia, get damage. Not enough, though. I think, if anything, you're either going to Gleam or you're going to predict my switch. Here's the thing. Do you KO Feeny here? Okay, I think you Gleam here. Or you Thunderbolt my Feeny. I think I'm going to go Celesteela for the Raichu and actually swap out into Landers. The reason I'm going to make this play is because of the fact that I think Cresselia either Moonlights or goes for Psychic in my Feeny. I want my Misty Seed boost with Celesteela, I feel like, because getting my Misty Seed boost with Celesteela allows me to actually do a lot of damage to, like, the Salamence in the back, as well as the, just in general with Acrobatics. So let's see what my opponent's going to do here. I think it's either Thunderbolt or Gleam. We're going to see Gleam again, which is fine. And Icy Wind, okay. Oh man, I could just knocked out something with Feeny, which is unfortunate. Icy Wind's gonna come out. Not really doing too much. I think you Gleam here if you're the Coco. I think you Gleam and you go for Recovery with the Cresselia. Don't want to go into Feeny. Is Intimidate really that valuable? I don't think it is. I don't think... You might predict me not to switch into Raichu here, but we'll see. We're gonna see the Coco switch out, which... I guess that is a good play. Yeah, it is. It is a good play. You get Intimidate off. You could Icy Wind again, or you can Moonlight, realistically. Should have U-turned. Yeah, my opponent's playing really well in this endgame. Moonlight gonna come out. Now I'm in a tough situation. Because I'll Earthquake into nothing. My Pokemon are really being weakened. I'm going to need a lot of damage into Salamence. With a Heavy Slam at least. I mean, that's a start, but it's like not doing much. I can start Leech Seeding, I guess. But the problem is both these Pokemon probably have recovery. I don't have a way that can knock out any of them. Is it even worth saving Salamence at this point? Or do I sack Feeny? I feel like you might Roost with Salamence. I'm gonna sack my Landorus here. I don't think Landorus is too useful. I really don't think Landorus is too useful. It goes down to a Gleam. I feel like after switching to Feeny might force the Salamence attack, which is, you know, beneficial to me. But I think a Roost Icy Wind's coming out. Tailwind. Oh, if this Salamence doesn't have Roost, I have a good shot actually. Icy Wind gonna come out, does hit, doesn't really matter to me too much. I just need to knock out the Salamence. If I knock out the Salamence, I do win the game. Well, I don't win the game necessarily, but I have a pretty good shot at winning the game if I do. We're gonna get the Heavy Slam off. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to knock out the Salamence at this rate. I'll go Feeny. I don't know, Tailwind Roost would be a weird Salamence, but I feel like we did see Roost on the Salamence from earlier. I can't remember. I feel like you protect Psychic. Since this looks like Calm Mind Cresselia, I feel like you should have it. And then maybe go for, yeah, I think that's what you would do. I'm gonna Leech Seed, Protect here. Because I really expect Salamence to Protect. Or it might Roost here. You might immediately Roost. I don't know, that's risky though. I feel like that'd be risky because if Moonblast Heavy Slam does knock out your Salamence, you're in a really bad spot. I feel like you do protect Salamence here. Or you go straight for the attack and the Feeny. I think both would be fair. Yeah, we're gonna see Salamence Protect. Nice. That's really good. So I at least get the read off, but oh, my Your Time's so low. I didn't realize my Your Time was so low. Can I even beat the Cresselia at this rate? Because I feel like I get PP stalled by the Cresselia with Moonlight. I gotta make my moves fast. I think this turn I double up the Salamence with Moonblast because and Heavy Slam. Yeah. And I'm surprised my opponent went for Icy Wind here. Like, I'm actually really surprised my opponent went for Icy Wind there. And yeah, we always Heavy Slam and Moonblast. I wish I kind of went into Raichu now, but then again, I wouldn't risk Raichu because there was a Psychic I was picking from Cresselia originally. I'll go for the Heavy Slam, hope that the Salamence has Double Edge, because if it has Double Edge, it just knocks out Feeny, and then the Recoil knocks it out. If Salamence has Roost, Moonblast and the Heavy Slam might be able to knock out the Salamence, which is what I'm going for. So no matter what, I'm pinning the Salamence down. And if my opponent wants to sack the Coco in the back, or risk a Coco in the back, I'll gladly take it, but I feel like Salamence should attack here. Hyper Voice won't knock out my Feeny. I think you need to Hyper Voice Psychic. I don't think Hyper Voice Icy Wind would finish me off. This is a really close game, and it's coming down to the wire. It really is. It does have Roost. Okay. Feeny, I need you to do a lot of damage, and I mean a lot of damage right here. Psy Shock. Okay, there's a Psychic move. I'm really confused about the Icy Wind from earlier. Doesn't knock out Feeny. Moonblast. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go out of the park. I get a crit. Actually, that crit might suck for me because if the Salamence survived, the Heavy Slam was more important to get onto that Pokemon because I would have got Spit Death Boost with my Celesteela, which might have been more beneficial there. So that's a little bit annoying. That's a little bit annoying. Okay. Coco's gonna come out. I think I double protect here. I double protect here. Even if it's Calm Mind Cresselia, if it starts Calm Minding up, I can win with my Celesteela, as I said before. How much is my opponent's Your Time at? He's lower than mine. I double protect here. The reason I double protect here is I stall out this Tailwind, so Cresselia is actually slower than my Feeny. I don't care if Cresselia gets a free Moonlight either. I want to scout for 1, Coco's Protect, 2, a Z move potentially if the Coco decides to burn it off here if you expect me to stay in with my Raichu. But the next point is, I stall out the Tailwind. I can go out and Raichu for Feeny the following turn. The reason I go to Raichu the following turn is because even if you predict that and go for Gleam, I don't think that really matters too much because I get Feeny in. Misty Terrain's up. I'm getting a Heavy Slam into Coco, which is really good there. Because I feel like 2 Heavy Slams might be able to knock out the Coco at this point. Actually, no, I don't think it does. I gotta figure it out. Thunderbolt gonna come out into the Selly. And a Psyshock? Yes, Psyshock. Into Selly too. That's an interesting target. I might go for the Cresselia here. No, I feel like that's a poor play. I feel like targeting the Cresselia is actually a very poor play. The reason is because you can Moonlight here. I think you could Gleam Moonlight very easily. I'm just gonna sack Raichu here. Get the terrain up for my, is better here. Get the Lightning Rod. Okay. And Psyshock gonna come out into... Why are you targeting my Celesteela? I really don't get these plays. Leechy's gonna come out into the Coco. Okay, at this point I could just fake out the Cresselia this turn and Acrobatics. No, I Heavy Slam the I Heavy Slam the... No, I could just fake out the Cresselia and just Heavy Slam the Coco. There's not much my opponent can do at this point. Yeah. I'm really surprised my opponent hasn't thrown off Moonlights. I'm really confused about that earlier play. Like, the Psyshock and the Celesteela. Yeah, the match is going to be forfeited. Because I feel like you could still had a shot to win. If Cresselia is able to heal, because I feel like you need Cresselia healthy. I don't think you can allow my Celesteela to knock out your Cresselia. You have to Gleam. I don't get why you keep Thunderbolting there, because I don't feel like getting a free switch in a Raichu is too beneficial for me. If you see the Z move from my opponent from earlier, I don't think my opponent ever used the Z move. We saw Cresselia, we saw Salamence. We saw Volcarona. Maybe Volcarona was the Z move? Maybe. Oh, it might have been Specs Coco. If it's Specs Coco, then my opponent 100% lost the game. Because you can't touch my Celesteela at that point, and my opponent's Zero Time was really low. So maybe that was the reason why, because maybe... I think it might have been Specs... I think it might have been Specs Coco. I think I faced this opponent with the Drifloon team, and it was revealed to be Specs Coco. That might be the reason why. So maybe my opponent just didn't have an out. Still don't get why you wouldn't Psyshock the Raichu though. Like the Feeny slot and the Raichu slot. Because I feel like if anything, I'm not going to switch out Celesteela because Celesteela's got the boost. It's easily going to be able to survive Thunderbolts if I just get Terrain up. Or if I just switch out Raichu into the other slot. I could get a Moonblast off, but the problem is Cresselia could just knock me out following turn. I don't feel like it's really worth it in that case. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below, show support. As well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the side series of my channel, and if you want to check out more VGC content, you can check out my Twitch channel because I do live stream and I've been doing it a lot recently. And if you do want to go check it out, just have a fun time, links in the description down below. I would really appreciate it too if you would come in, have a great time, because I am getting close to the partnership requirement, which is really cool. And yeah, otherwise you can check out the previous episodes down below. If you want to try out the team alongside me, in the description down below. All the EVs, movesets, etc. are listed. Otherwise, have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.